my God. Is there even anybody here today? Who's here today? The only problem with the green room is no music or sound from shared stuff. Yeah, I know. I gotta figure that out. Yeah, I'm fucking loud as shit. Oh my God, I'm so fucking loud.
I could turn my earbuds down, but stop screaming in my ear, motherfucker.
You can't, no. Alright, where's the button? I gotta find the button. Oh my God, where's the button, lady? Oh, there's the button. What up, everybody? It's, the next to last day. It's the next to last day to, March. It's the end of Smarch.
Have studs on your tires.
I don't know. The stud's got to come off April.
Yep, Tuesday. Ooh, high and tight this time. You went for the full mohawk. My.
What?
Oh, it looks like on one side, it looks as though you've gone full mohawk.
No. Nope.
No.
Same cut.
It looks like on one side.
Regulations vary. Regulations vary, with many states requiring removal by March 31st or April 15th. Washington State is April 1st. But other states go later. What's the latest?
Apparently your birthday.
May 31st in Montana.
That fits.
Alaska, April 30th. Maybe that's why I was probably thinking Alaska, like May 1st. You got to have them off. I don't ever have studs in Washington. I don't ever put them on. I have like all season thick boy tires, whatever those are called. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
All season off-roaders, whatever. 10 plies for the trailer towing. And I don't ever put the studs on. The studs just seem excessive overkill weirdness, because I'll just put chains on if it's that bad, you know?
Yeah.
I don't get the studs personally, because you have this whole set of tires you have to keep track of, like, half the year.
And then you have winters like this one, in an area like this where up above a certain level, yeah, you need them. But then you're driving in town doing God knows what to your tires on the road.
Yeah, I mean, if you're driving on the bare asphalt with the studs, it does fuck them up. That's for sure. I mean, I guess technically it does damage the road too. Whatever. I mean, no one really cares, right? But it fucks up the stud. It fucks up the studded tires to just be like speeding around at 70 on bare. On the bare road. Well, you know, it's like driving on a busy road or a bare road with your chains on. You got to take them off. You know, it's metal. Right. It's metal on asphalt. It's like, it's not. You know what I mean? It's not gonna. You think it's gonna last forever? No. I'm sorry, it's not. No. And by the way, if you ever saw how they make studded tires,
yeah,
you would realize that, like, it's fucking up the tire to make studded tires.
Basically just driving little mini nails into the tire.
They're these weird screws with a little doodad that goes on. But yeah, I mean, you're basically just putting tons of holes in the tires, you know. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It seems like a weird luxury that I just would never want to afford, I guess is the answer. I mean, I have an absolute shitty truck. If the roads are really that bad, I'll just drive that thing around. You know?
Right.
It's like...
Yeah, when your second set of tires is worth more than your truck is, what's the point? Yeah.
That is accurate for that truck. Yes, because it has brand new tires on it. Because I had a blowout on that truck, but it was a blowout because the tire was just like, I'm dead now. I'm dying. It wasn't like, oh, did you run over a big chunk of metal on the? Nope, just driving on the road, and it was like, I'm not a tire anymore. I'm pieces of rubber. I'm pieces of rubber now. So, I got the spare on there. Drove over to the tire place, and the guy was like, "Yeah, you need 4, bro. Don't do 1." So I had to put a set on that truck, and yeah, the tires are probably worth more than that truck is technically. Although it constantly gets, people leave notes on it all the time with their phone number. Call me if you want to sell this.
Oh, for the exploder. That's
Call me if you want to sell this. Call me if you want to sell this. Yeah, the Explorer is a truck, even though it's technically an SUV. It's only an SUV, right, so that they could avoid having to crash test the fucking thing. It's basically, what is it? It's like an overbuilt Ford Ranger platform, I think. Actually, it might be its own. I think it's its own chassis, obviously, but yeah, it's the U1 second generation, which is their truck frame. I don't know if it's the Ranger or if it's the F-150. Let's look it up because nobody cares. Model codes UN105 and UN150. I guarantee it is closely related to the Ford Ranger. Okay, so it's not the F-150. It's the Ranger. Yeah, so it's like that year Explorer. It's a 4x4 with a V8 in it, and it's built on the Ranger platform with just a bigger shell on it. But it has all-wheel drive and whatnot. That truck is impossible to get stuck in the snow. You can't get that thing stuck in the snow. I tried. I had it in about 2.5 feet of like sloppy ass wet snow that it was just pure powder, right? But it was just sloppy wet, which is what you absolutely get stuck in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't get it stuck. Like I was trying to get it stuck, and I couldn't get the thing. I could not get it to just be stuck, and couldn't get it out.
Not quite heavy enough.
I mean, it just got trapped a couple of times, but then it was just like, there we go, we're going again. It's like, even when it just had all the snow compressed under it and everything, it was like, well, I think I got it. I got it high centered on the snow. And then it was just like, just kind of spaz out a little bit and driving again. Here we go. So it was pretty. It's a great vehicle for going up into the mountains. So I guarantee almost every single person that's leaving a note on that truck is like a snowboarder or something. They're like, oh, I'll buy that thing and then I'll drive it up to go snowboarding. That's probably what's going on. And even a buddy of mine asked me, he was like, I'll give you, hey, you want $1,500 for that truck? I was like, take it snowboarding. It's like, I don't know. We're gonna tune it up and fix it up a little bit and gift it to the niece, because she just turned 18, so getting to that time where she's got to drive around to a freaking job, drive around to a freaking job. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Do we even is there anybody here today? I think it's just you, me, and Frank, and Mark. And the bot.
Well, people in here, I just don't know who they are. They haven't said anything, so I can't acknowledge.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just seems that's the only people that are here. So what's up? What do you guys want to talk about today? Because there's no one else here, so we might as well just talk to you guys about what you want. And by the way, Frank is first to the chat today. Mark tried to. Mark was attempting to interject that he was first at some point, and I don't think he understands the rules. I don't think he gets the rules.
Oh.
Frank is first. That's how that goes. That's the long-standing rules. You know, Frank always shows up somehow at the beginning of every chat. He shows up, and I don't know if he listens. I don't know if he watches. I don't know what he does, but he shows up around the beginning of every chat. It's fabled that he lives in my attic, but I do know that he's currently in my crawl space right now. He has moved to the cooler side of things. He's slithering around down there like a snake, some kind of reptilian. I'm not sure. It's just it's 2026. You know, change your perspective. Why not? Why not change it a little bit? You could do that. Yeah, see, there goes Mark again. He's trying to say he was first. It's like it's not. Frank's first.
Revisionist history. Revisionist history.
We get jokes. We don't have to explain jokes around here. We're a smart group, right? We get it. We're a smart bunch. What were you guys chit-chatting early on? Today's the first 70-degree day in so long. It's fucking awesome. I agree. I don't know what the temperature is out today. 49, I guess. 49 degrees. In the sun, it's glorious. The sun went behind a little cloud earlier, and I was like, oh, my God, it's cold out here. So the moments that the sunbeams are attacking your body, you feel good. But as soon as it goes behind a cloud, the cold moisture jumps up and grabs you by your cockles and reminds you that you are in the great Pacific Northwest once again. But the weather's good. Everybody's happy. The weather kind of sucked this weekend. I don't know if anybody had sucky weather this weekend, but we did. It wasn't great. It was kind of difficult to get anything done that we were trying to get done because it was, it's just like raining and being ridiculous.
Usually more timing, Joel. Usually more timing than anything else. Not you, Joel, the other Joel. New Zealand Joel.
Oh, what's going on? Are you just shouting out responses to the chats?
Well, I was actually talking about the fact that it's timing that makes the weather really shitty here. Like, it's beautiful today, but I'm not doing anything outdoors today. Had I chosen to try to do something outdoors, it would be shit city.
Well, you definitely have to pick your spots. You got to look up and go, okay, the clouds are over there. I got 20 minutes before the cloud attacks the sun and freezes your nipples off whilst trying to, move wheelbarrows around in the outside. Let's check in on our affiliate program. How are we doing this month? Do you think we did good this month? Because we're almost to the end. Somebody bought a whole bunch of shit the other day, and I don't know what they bought. Somebody bought a bunch of stuff the other day. Who knows? You can't see it anymore. You used to be able to look up. Oh, is it? I have to change to tracking ID? No, that doesn't work. Category? That doesn't work. Category, date. It just doesn't tell me what anything is anymore. I don't know why. It used to.
Yeah.
It used to tell you what people bought. And the reason that they would tell you what people bought is so that you could try to advertise something that may or may not have sold well. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I sold a bunch of these things. I guess I'll do another ad to try and sell those. But I guess that feature's gone. You don't get to have that feature anymore. But what should we try to promote today? Here we go. We'll promote a book because we like promoting books around here because people like to read books and learn their brain parts. You know what I mean? They might do their brain learnings. There's a book. Go buy some shit off Amazon before the today and tomorrow, and we'll get money. That's basically what it boils down to. You want to support the channel? That's an easy way to do it. Just convert your Amazon sales into advertising fees, and you can go that route. Yeah. So we did that part, and there you go. I'm not allowed to promote dildos anymore, so I can't do that for you anymore. I can't do the joke for the vibrators anymore. We can't do it. It won't let me do it anymore. I don't know why. Tomorrow storms rolling in and 40 degrees on Wednesday. Yeah, the storms are hit and miss around here. That's for sure. It's nice one day and then windy and rainy the next day. It's smarch weather. Let's see what my current weather is for this week. Yeah, I had canceled concrete this week because I can't pour it because it's going to. Well, I can't pour it tomorrow because I can't get it tomorrow. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is going to rain and moist and weird. Saturday's good for pouring, but I'm not going to that job on Saturday. Sunday's good for pouring, but I'm not going to that job on Sunday because it's Meester. It's the solstice, spring solstice celebration. Eat colored eggs. Eat colored Oster, right? Isn't it the pagan holiday of Oster?
Well, the 21st was, but Easter kind of steals it. So sure.
What's that?
Yep.
What's that?
The next pagan holiday. The 21st was Ostara. The next pagan holiday is Beltane, May 1st.
Well, no, because Easter ate
Ostara.
Yeah, it ate it. Well, because if you go back, they made up this whole story about Jesus, right? Because they were
Which
pissed
wasn't
off.
Original.
They were what?
I said which wasn't original. They didn't really. They stole it from several other religions.
I know.
Before
They made up the Jesus story by adapting older stories. And they just made up this Jesus story because they were mad that the pagans had a holiday. Same thing with Christmas. Same thing with what's the next one?
Halloween.
What is it? Glowane?
Halloween.
What's the next holiday? You're saying Halloween, but that's not.
Beltane.
What?
Oh, Beltane is the next holiday.
Right. I don't know.
Beltane.
I forget it. Either way, humans have all these stupid holidays, right? And they had them long before the Jesus stories and the Muslim stories and all these fucking bullshit stories that were stolen from other stories came around, and then they went, "Oh, it's Easter. This is when he was resurrected." And you go like, well, that's kind of weird because if you look up Ostara, it's all about rebirth, right? Like the whole holiday was already about rebirth of the new year and rejuvenation and all of that. So it's like it's hardly even. And by the way, people wonder why the eggs are on Easter is because of the pagan holiday. Eggs represent fertility, new life, and the universe. Hares, rabbits associated with Oster. These animals symbolize high fertility and the vitality of spring. Colors, pastel, especially green, yellow, and white, are used to symbolize growth and light. So the whole, it's Jesus' resurrection. And it's like, you just stole another pagan holiday and acted like God told you this is what was going on. And we're just supposed to be like, okay. You know, you're just supposed to just take their word for it, which is patently absurd. If you had an omniscient, all-powerful God, they would just make it so, right? Why not? What harm would come to your all-powerful, all-knowing God to just put it in place? Like, that's what's up. Like, and hey, I'm here. I have a loudspeaker. And every once in a while, I just let you know, like, they go, mind your ears. They just go, burp, burp. Hello, it's me, God. And they just do that every once in a while. They do the check, 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 mic check. Hey, quit fucking killing people. Stop doing that, right? Why wouldn't your omniscient God do that? Because it's just like hilariously cruel to act like you don't exist or whatever. What the fuck is this? What is this nonsense? This is a money-making venture is what it is, folks, if you were wondering. So they can take your money. There was another pastor was exposed this week for preaching about people bringing in their they needed to bring in their W-2s and their tax returns.
Oh, to prove they're paying the full 10%.
Yeah, to prove that they were paying their tithing. because he was angry that he was passing around the plate and essentially people were not putting any money in it. Because there's a vast difference between, okay, I gave some money to this charitable organization versus, well, my kids won't be able to eat this month if I give them the charity the money,
Right.
which is ultimately a problem, because if you give the charity the money, because you can't feed, then you won't be able to feed your kids, so then you have to turn around to go to the charity to help feed your kids. Isn't that just, aren't you just dependent on handouts at that point? Even though you gave handouts to the other thing that was dependent to handouts? That's why I always have so many problems with conservatives and stuff. Like there's very little rationale to any of the nonsense that they're doing on a regular basis. Like it's just absolute fucking nonsense. And then they go, I don't know why everything's all fucked up. You're like, I you know, just strictly from the beginning, you're fucking it up. You're fucking it up right out the gate. So I don't. What do you mean? Of course, everything's fucked up. What did you guys want to talk about today? Witchy Cat, do you have your nose to the grindstone?
Well, I'm hearing from that both the Marshall Islands and the Philippines.
Oh, hold on, you're breaking up. I don't know what is going on. You're breaking up. What? Start over.
That I'm hearing from my group that both the Marshall Islands and the Philippines have declared state of emergency where power is concerned, and they're starting to do rolling blackouts and such due to our wonderful actions in Iran.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's going to happen all around the world, and it already is.
Yep. That's my point, is that it already is.
Well, yeah,
People are talking about, oh, this winter is going to be bad. I'm like, no. Right now is going to be bad.
Well, you have to remember that they're headed towards winter in the Philippines. So,
Yep.
It is accurate. They're just talking about themselves as opposed to the people that are actually headed towards winter. You know, the southern hemisphere, right? The southern hemisphere is headed towards their winter, their version of winter. Yeah, the energy crisis is going to be. I was actually listening to Ezra Miller was talking to, I don't know who the fuck he was talking to. I don't really like Ezra Miller, but he has interesting guests. Or is it Ezra Klein? No, not Ezra. I'm getting Ezra Miller mixed up with Ezra Klein.
There are so many Ezras out there. I mean, how can
well, you know, one of them's the Flash, and the other one is
PBS.
a flash in the pan. You know, who was he talking to? March 20th, March 24th. Yeah, Jason Bordoff is who he was talking to, I think. And I forget who Jason Bordoff was at one point, but he's credentialed for some. Jason Bordoff is an American energy policy expert and a researcher specializing in the intersection of economics, energy, environment, national security. In April 2021, he was named co-founding dean of Columbia Climate School, and I forget which. He worked for one of the administrations, I believe, Obama, I think, or somebody else. Who did he? What's that?
He would be the furthest. I said, certainly not this one. They'd fire him in a heartbeat. You're much too scientifically accurate. Get out.
Well, it's, you know, it's one of those things that, like, you do have to take into account that, you know, when we start to talk about flaws with, you know, Joe Biden's administration, the Obama administration, the Clintons, whatnot, these are some of the people that are problems, right? So Bordoff was a consultant with McKinsey and Company from 1998 to 2000. So he's like one of the McKinsey Institute guys, right? He was there for a while. He served as special assistant to the Deputy Treasury Secretary Stuart Eisenstadt during the Clinton administration. From 2004 to 2005, he's a law clerk for Stephen F. Williams of the U.S. Court of Appeals. In 2005, Bordoff joined the Brookings Institution as a policy director of the Hamilton Project, a new organization within the Brookings Institute focused on economic research and policy. He held the position through April 2009. In 2013, he joined a newly developed natural gas task force at Brookings. In April 2009, Bordoff joined the Obama White House as the Associate Director for Climate Change and the Council for Environmental Quality. He subsequently worked as a senior advisor for energy and environmental policy. So, like, one of the reasons I say that when we start to talk about issues with the administration, it's people like this that have zero ability to message properly, right? So when he's asked direct questions about things, well, you know, I don't know that I could really speculate on what exactly is going to happen. Okay, great. How does that help the message? Right? Like, how does that help with messaging? Because Donald Trump would tell you, well, that's not good. I don't like it. And there's one thing I know is I know all about it, right? I'm not saying that you need to go to the extreme end of the spectrum and be and act like a rapist from New York who was born with a silver spoon up his ass and was hit in the head with a tack hammer 30 times. You don't need to do that. But what you do need to do is be able to message to the average person. And these people are profoundly unable to do that. They can't talk to normal people and go, hey, it's fucked, bro. We need to do this, right? This is the best option, or we're fucked. You know, like, they need to figure out how to do that, because I will tell you, the goddamn conservatives have no problem messaging this way. And you could see the group of people that they're talking to was at CPAC. Perfect example. The guy walks up on stage. Do we want impeachments? And they all cheered and said yes. And he immediately goes, no, we don't want to see him. Like, boo. Like, they literally have to, like, correct the crowd, because the crowd is so primed to just, and just lick their balls for the rest of the day. You know, it's fucking absurd. But this is like a perfect example of a guy who, like, during that conversation was unable to just say fracking off the cuff. He couldn't say fracking, right? He started talking about this new development that you were able to find out through, and he goes into the technical term of fracking, right? And you eventually get to the point where it's like, oh wait, you're talking about fracking, right? And you're like, wait a minute. There isn't a person in the United States that doesn't know what the fuck fracking is. Just say fracking and move the fucking conversation forward, right? But this is one of the guys that advised the Obama administration to allow for fracking, because we would be able to produce enough natural gas and gasoline and oil products and all that shit to supposedly launch us into a time where energy would be so cheap that we would be able to manufacture the carbon net zero products that we would need to have a green energy grid, right? That was all thrown right off the rails when Donald Jerome Trump was, air quote, elected to office. I don't even fucking believe that he won any of these elections. Fuck him. I don't believe it. I don't believe that he won any of them at this point. They came in and just said, we're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that. It's a hoax, right? Well, here we are now with the same dipshit in office. Is it a hoax? to the Filipinos that would love to have a green energy grid? Is it a hoax to 90% of the Americans whose prices are skyrocketing through the roof at the gas pump, at your heating bill, at your electric bill? Is that a hoax when this shit could have been figured out over the last decade? But no, we're getting ready to invade another country, just like the Bush administration, just like the other Bush administration, and just like the Reagan administration. Every single fucking conservative bullshit Republican administration has decided we will just attack another country when they were in office. We're doing it. We're going in. We're going in hot. All we've been doing is producing hammers, so everything's a nail. Like, what in the hot fuck are we doing here? Like, people are quitting the UN right now, resigning from the UN, because the internal conversations are that the United States plans to drop a nuclear weapon in Iran. That's currently what's happening right now. We can't talk about putting a solar array on your house because we're about to fucking annihilate 1 million lives in 5 seconds. Like, that's where we're at. In 2026, that's where we're at. Why are we here? And it's because of fucking air quote experts like Jason Bordoff, who can't fucking explain to the average person, who, by the way, Ezra Klein is an average person, even though he talks in his little fucking, hey, we gotta have it. We have to have this weird introspective conversations over and over again. Who, by the way, it's another reason why, like, people like Ezra Klein are 100% antithetical to what we need on the left, right? Bring in a goddamn Schwarzenegger, right? Like bring in some bodybuilders and have them just tell people shit in a point blank voice, right? Like, we can't have the glasses wearing, turtleneck, quiet talking San Francisco guy who's very introspective about every utterance of a thing that comes out of his mouth, right? We can't keep up. You can't keep up. It's not going to keep, you're not going to be able to keep up the pace with the fucking drooling insanity that comes out of the fucking right wing in the United States these days. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Zen is not going to be able to offset rabid at this point.
No, I mean, just the lukewarm, tepid water is not going to offset the nuclear reactor boiling over. You know, like, it's just not going to work. And it's frustrating. You know, it's very frustrating to me to have to listen to shit like that because it is really the only option I have at this point. Joel G will be in the Philippines in 3 weeks. That's going to be probably a weirder vacation than normal. We're communicating through time, space, and the internet. That's true. And the internet. Do you still have bees? Yes, we have bees, but just found out last weekend that 2 of our hives collapsed over the winter. Unsure why. Don't know yet. But also doesn't matter because the queen died and they died. So it is what it is. There's no coming back from being dead. We're speculating on like some of the issues that we're having, but you know, it is what it is. We don't necessarily live in the absolutely like perfect environment for bees either. So, I mean, the perfect environment for bees is California, you know?
Yeah.
Well, the California farmlands, not up in the hills, but the California farmlands down there, the bees love that. They're like, yeah, it's always sunny out. There's always shit to do. They just stay busy the whole time. They don't like overwintering bees is not easy to do. And we haven't, one of our hives was questionable. We were like, I don't know. Well, we'll see how they do. The other hive was like 100% set up for success, and boom, they all died. What's that?
Did you go into winter with 2 or 3 hives? I thought you had 5. I don't know. I miscounted.
We had 4 at one point. Then we had 3. And then we had 4 again, and then we were down to 2. And we went into this winter with 2. So, yeah. We were like, all all right, we're gonna just do the winter with the 2. That should be fine. Like I said, one of them was just absolutely robust, perfect setup, and I don't know what happened. They all died. So, we do have the concerns that like some people might be they might be spraying or doing something chemical. Could be a chemical thing happening. So, they had food. They obviously had shelter. Their populations were high. They had plenty of resources. We even put these top boxes on them that help keep any kind of humidity exchange issues from happening, which was advised by some of our local bee club that like, yeah, you need this because it'll help keep the moisture down. And then we opened them last weekend to go find out, like, okay, let's get them ready for the spring. We'll start prepping for the spring. And, hey, everybody's dead inside here. Cool. Radical. So, it is what it is. Nothing, like I said, there's just like nothing you can do about it because they're dead. If they weren't dead, there's something you could do, but they're dead. So, it's a bummer. So we called our one of the local farm guys that we deal with, and we ordered 2 nucleus hives for this spring, and we'll see how it goes this year. We've been having issues with the swarming and stuff. That's been one of our biggest issues that we need to resolve. Is make sure that the any of the swarms that escape end up back into our apiary. But yeah, we have space. We have space in the apiary I built for 5 hives. But like I said, the 2 hives that we overwintered with died, so we're going to take it apart, and I'm gonna rebuild it a little bit. I'm gonna make some changes to the apiary itself. I'm gonna put a big bottom drawer in it. I'm gonna build the top better than I did last time, because last time I built it so it was like there was gaps for like airflow. But I'm gonna take that off and put a different top on it.
Make it enclosed.
I'm allergic to bees, so this is as close as I get. LOL. Really depends on the hives. Like, we've only ever had one hive that was kind of grouchy, I guess. Most of them are pretty chilling. Like, they're just chilling ass bees. Like, they don't really want to sting people or anything. So, I mean, even with the hive open, fucking around in there, those ones don't really want to sting. So, it really is just kind of a temperament thing with the breed of bees. And most honeybees aren't like trying to attack. There's a guy on TikTok who's like, he's totally anti-bee, and he goes around capturing Africanized bee hives. He comes up on my feed every once in a while, and I basically just want to punch him in the neck, because he's like the air quote expert, right? And he's an absolute like fucking toothless hillbilly that like just screeches about how all bees have been Africanized, and they were made in a lab, and they're out on the loose now, and these Africanized bees just want to terrorize the neighborhood. It's just so fucking whack. And it's whack that people actually watch it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I've talked about this on stream before. And recently, like, one of the creators that I support posted a video, and they were talking about, how's anything in this world going to change realistically? And it's really hard to figure out like how things are going to change in this world when the people that are constantly promoted at every angle are just pretty much the dregs of society, right? There's apparently somebody called the Subway Queen who's being promoted right now, and apparently her big breakout moment was calling people the N-word on the New York subway. And then now she posts low effort content onto TikTok, and apparently that is all of the rage now. amongst many other examples of the Haktua girl, right? Like we desperately need to hear what the Haktua girl needs to say about something. Like that's where we're spending our time. And it's super, it's a discouraging world at times for sure, right? People that desperately want to drop nuclear weapons on Middle Eastern countries, just for the sake of killing people, have made it all the way up to the highest office that you can make it to in the world, right? Those are the people running the United States fucking government at this point. We're supposed to never forget 9/11. But I met somebody over the weekend that had never heard of the Oklahoma City bombing.
Yeah.
And their spouse has been in the U.S. military for 16 years. And they had never heard of the Oklahoma City bombing. They never heard of it. Never once. Never once had ever heard of it. What? What are you talking about? That's what they said. What do you mean? What do you mean Oklahoma City bombing? What does that mean? And I go, well, we never forget that somebody hijacked a plane and flew it into some buildings, but we will constantly forget that a couple of white guys from fucking Oklahoma loaded up a truck full of fertilizer and exploded the whole entire Oklahoma state government, essentially, all in one foul swoop. Which, by the way, then they were like, what the fuck are you talking? I'm like, okay, here's the Wikipedia article. Look at this. And they're like, oh, my God. I'm like, yeah, the building was completely blown up. We will never forget 9/11, but we will 100% forget why there's big, giant concrete structures in front of every office building now, known to man. You ever seen that before? You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Yep. They're blast guards.
No, so you can't drive a truck up into them and then blow up your fertilizer in the truck. Let's see. So yeah, actually, when I was walking around DC with Scogs, I was pointing at all the concrete things that are in front of all of the buildings, because they're all temporary concrete things. Like here's a perfect example.
Like the road median.
Well, here you go. It's like, well, right here. Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys, I can't share it with you yet. I need to tell this pop-up to fuck off. Oh, I can't. Sorry. It's impossible to tell this pop-up to fuck off. No, okay. Well, we'll just go with the image then. What happened to the Smart Select? Oh, there it is. Okay. There we go. So, like, here's a perfect example of the random concrete shit that they put in front of buildings now. Like, all these concrete planters and stuff. There's more out in the front here, in front of this, but this is a perfect example. This is never forget the Oklahoma City bombing. They put the concrete crap out front now, out in front of every building, because the trucks, the truck could drive up and park right next to the building and blow it up. Yeah, and by the way, these fucking menacing Trump signs are all over the place in DC now. These banners that hang from the sky.
Well, the socialist, well, not socialist, but I always think of them as Communist Party banners. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is literally like the fascism propaganda banners that are everywhere.
Yep.
They're all over the place, and of course, this administration, he picks the menacing photo, right? This is the I'm about to rape you photo. I'm here for sexual gratification, whether you want it or not. That's what this look is right here. If you were wondering, they said, what face do you make when you get ready to rape somebody? What face is it? And then he made that face for the photographer. So that's the one that's hanging over everyone as you walk around DC.
Willing to talk about that face in press
Pardon me?
conferences. I said he's willing to talk about that face in press conferences.
It impressed them? I don't know what you mean.
Yep. I said in press conferences.
Oh, in press conferences. I mean,
That's
he just makes the stroke. He just makes the stroke face now in press conferences. This one.
The Alzheimer's is going the charts. I'm willing to talk about sex if you guys are brave enough to ask. Bullshit comments.
He just makes this face in press conferences now. The I'm actively having a stroke face. Guys, I'm having a stroke. He just regularly makes this face now. While he thinks about bombing foreign countries. You know, and it was funny because somebody asked me a while ago. They said, "Why weren't you outraged about this stuff? 10 years ago or 20 years ago or whatever?" And I'm like, I absolutely was, and I still am. It's not I wasn't and then I stopped, or it wasn't and then it just slowly grew up into 2026. Like, for the entirety of my life, the Republican Party has been planning to bomb people in other countries. From the original Iran-Contra, which we talked about last week, to invading El Salvador, to invading fucking Colombia, to invading fucking sending insurgents to Mexico. I mean, South America has been getting terrorized for the last 130 years, if not longer than that, by the United States. And then just go, we invaded Vietnam. Cool. We took a 10-year break. Let Pol Pot happen. Just didn't even give a fuck that Pol Pot was going on. Just, who gives a shit? We don't care. And then all of a sudden it gets in the news. So then we start bombing people. Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And then it leads to the original Iraq war, because the Iraqis invaded Kuwait, and then you come to find out, like, where did the Iraqis get these weapons from? Oh, they got them from the United States. Odd. How odd. I'm shocked. Can you pick me up off the ground? Because I've been shocked so hard. Yeah, and this is just ongoing. This has been the entirety of my life. Whether it was the Russians, we went through the whole entire Cold War in my childhood. Bankrupting ourselves, bankrupting Russia. Yeah, like, this is fucked. We have $39 trillion in debt. We're paying $1 trillion a year in fucking interest on our debt. What's our GDP?
Against a currency that is just dropping like a stone in the world.
Well, the unfortunate part is it has to. It has to, because of the Republican Party. It doesn't matter how many times the fucking milquetoast Democrats get back into office and attempt to turn the ship back from careening into the iceberg. Another fucking insane maniac gets into office and says, "Head straight for the iceberg. I heard there's diamonds in there."
I can't hear the band from the poop deck. Turn them up and head towards the bird.
Right. And I got a giant email from somebody the other day that they were saying that, well, they looked over my numbers on YouTube, and they're like, "I don't understand why you're doing this politics thing. It obviously isn't paying off." Right? Because they looked at the numbers and they knew.
Right.
Because
it's not rocket science.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, you get less views now. And I still, like, I hold true to the fact that, like, oh, congrats, my channel turned 14 today. 14 years old. My channel turned 14 years old today, guys. Are you excited?
That's awesome. In
It
two
just
years, your channel can get its driving permit. Very happy
it
for it
just
for
pop
next
it
year.
just popped up. You know, and the funny thing is that, like, I mean, if you go back to my original content, which, by the way, in that email they were criticizing that I had removed a bunch of old content, which I don't I just privated it, right? Like, I didn't delete it or anything. It's just private, so it doesn't have to pop up on people's feeds or whatever. And maybe I'll put it back up someday or whatever. But, like, I never pulled any punches to try and explain to somebody that, that, like, I was one of the people on the King of the Hill standing by the, or that I wasn't one of the people in the King of the Hill standing by the fence, drinking beers, under the guise that I was some kind of fucking conservative or whatever. I'm not. I have zero in common with fucking conservatives. I don't. And the unfortunate side is that there's a big portion of the fish keeping community that believe in imaginary fairy tales and that Jesus is real or whatever, right? So if at any point I was to explain anything about in my life to them, they would immediately be like, "Oh my God, you're going to hell. You're going to burn in hell, you sinner." And it's like, so I'm a sinner because when I was 26 years old and there was another adult and we decided to touch our genitals together, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Right? Oh, I'm going to spend an eternity burning in purgatory, right? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And there's a lot of people like that in the fish keeping community. And the other side of it is like, I don't have a product to sell you. I don't want to fly to Shenzhen, China, and have them put my name on some kind of mass-produced, stolen IP fucking fish tank filter. I don't want to do that. And so I don't have, like, a product to sell people. And admittedly, it's part of the joke as to why I was selling the vibrators on fucking Amazon. Because I'm like, I'm not here to sell you a fucking fish tank product, even though I've done a bunch of reviews on fish tank products and stuff like that. The reality is, like, if somebody wants to pay me to do a fish tank series, I would 100% do 40, 50 hours a week working on a fish tank series, a video series, depending on what project they want it done. Right? But the idea that I'm going to continue to just fucking spend endless amounts of money to create content for people that don't want to pay for it, I don't understand it. So we do have about 300 or 400 people who still like to watch the channel, even though it's just my Monday ramblings about the current state of affairs. I'm just communicating with those people. And if it is one of those things where it's like, well, you're just affirming what they already believe. Okay, cool. Then I'm expressing my allyship that when the Bible thumping fucking maniacs that are influencing the White House right now to drop a nuclear weapon on Iran, well, I'll be here to help fucking pick up the pieces and help the community out as best I can. You know? That's what's up. And the answer will be there for somebody to fucking hear it. Michael Sars here. What's going on, man? Haven't sat in on your chat in a while. I'm just here talking about the current state of affairs in the world and just whatever's going on. So we're just chilling, doing whatever. It's Monday. We can literally do whatever we want.
Got him.
You fucking snagged him. You snagged him while he was top in the chat. See, if somebody has the #1 crown and they're not a member, that's normally a sign that they've been watching the most. That's normally a sign. You did get him with the sneak attack, though.
very proud of myself.
What? Are you mumbling?
I said I'm very proud of myself.
Oh, okay, good.
I've done something productive.
You said
today.
something to yourself, like all internally voiced, like, and I was like, what? What happened? What happened? Creep? Quit creeping. You just out here fucking
I was
creeping.
doing my boomhauer voice.
Your boomhauer. You're doing your boomhauer? Yeah.
I was doing my boomhauer.
Yeah. And yeah, so I don't really like have a product to sell anybody or anything like that. So if I realistically wanted to deeply go into launching content, which by the way, like I still have been working on content. There's no way to get me to like zero out on it. It's just not. It's not going to happen because I still want to make stuff. I want to make fucking documentaries and videos, and I want to make a movie someday. So it's one of those things. I did update one of my cameras this year, so it was easier to film multiple time lapses and stuff like that. Right now I have two bathrooms and a kitchen I'm working on remodeling because I need to make money to pay to not die and starve to death. The reality is, like, a perfect world for me would be 5 days a week. I get to work 10 hours on just doing projects. That would be a perfect world for me. You know, but I've never realistically got to live in that space without the acknowledgement that I'm fucking that I'm poor. You know, like I mean, that's the thing is that, like, people have asked me, like, what would you do if you won the lottery? It's like, I would just be doing a project every day. Right? It's like, well, what would the projects be? I'm like, I'm sure they would vary, but I would imagine that they'd probably be interesting to most people. Like right now, I need to build a pergola or a greenhouse. And there's an argument there. Not really an argument. There's like a back and forth of like, what does Vicky want me to do? Right? The decision has not been made. And so right now I was trying to find some salvaged old large windows, which I called one of the guys that I know that handles that material. And he said, I've got a shitload of them. Just come get them. So I would need to go look and see what he has, which means I got to drive down to Seattle. Kind of a bummer. Don't like doing that. But I do need to drive down to Seattle to get a countertop. So I'm going to try and do those at the same time. I'm going to go look at the windows because there's a big price variance in what they have. And then I'm going to call my old glass guy, the Perkins glass, and see what just plain old sheets, pre-cut sheets that I could just glaze, because I can do glazing. I know how to do that, which I think would be a really cool video of glazing the windows into a greenhouse. I think that would be cool. I think people would enjoy that. I think people would be like, wow, that's really, really cool. You know how to do an old school window, put hanging windows. You know how to do that. And they would be like, oh my God, I'm so hard right now, right? They'd be rock hard, fully turgid, ready to go, because they watched me put big giant window panes into a homemade greenhouse. I think that's what would happen.
Well, I'm not sure. How do you make that pay? How do you convert that to cash? That is the question.
The OnlyFans.
Now pay me.
OnlyFans. Actually, a friend of ours was over with their kid the other day, and the joke between her and my wife She has somehow imagined that my penis is shaped like a hockey puck, and that's been the joke for some reason.
Wow.
I don't know why. I don't know how I managed to garner this this reputation in her imagination. But either way, it does make me react. So I think that's why she's doing it. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? And so it's a funny thing. But I was like, look, if I had a weird dick, I would have an OnlyFans account, and you guys could check it out. But I just have I have a normal wang. There's nothing weird going on. I mean, if I had something weird going on, I'd like OnlyFans for sure, 100%, make an account, But I don't. So I'm like, if it was a moneymaker, I'd be making money off of it. That's all I'm saying. If it was like abnormally large or a weird shape or something, I'd be like, yeah, fine. But I'm like, do you want like an average run of the mill wang? Like, nobody's paying OnlyFans for that kind of nonsense. You know what I'm saying? The hockey puck wang. Yeah, it's built like a hockey puck. I don't know.
Yeah, usually it's beer cans, not hockey pucks.
Mm-hmm.
You're particularly short, apparently.
Apparently, I can't even do the beer can. But there's just not a vagina in the world that wants to handle a beer can. So I don't.
No.
I'll be honest with you.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny. There's a guy on TikTok. I forget. He's an anatomy expert. I don't know. He has like a PhD in anatomy or whatever, and he started making TikToks because he has like no shame about talking about whatever. And I'm like, I like the cut of this guy's jib. But he had a video like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago or something, and it, of course, sparked a million bajillion fucking messages for the guy. But he basically was talking about like the vaginal canal, average size, what an expectation should be, blah blah blah. He kind of goes through all of that, right? And then he actually has like demonstrated, pieces. He has size pieces to reference with and whatnot.
Okay.
And he goes through the whole thing of like, look, the reality is that life is actually much more difficult for ones that are too big, right? Because he actually, he shows the vaginal canal and how close the cervix is, which the cervix is only like 3.8 inches on average in there. And if you want to go further, you actually have to go to one side of it. You got to go left or right or front or back. Like if the cervix is here, you got to go below it or above it. But in order to do that, you have to have it quite excited. You have to have a level of excitement that is much higher than, I bought you popcorn at the movies, right?
Right.
And so he kind of goes through all the anatomy on that, and I'm just like, it's so funny because it's just like an endless sea of comments, right? Like, do I measure from the back or the front or the top? Like all this craziness.
I measure from the taint all the way to the tip?
Yeah.
No.
Where do I measure from exactly? From the back of my house or to the front door? Yeah. Yeah, it's funny shit. So, but yeah, it's definitely entertaining. So I watched a couple of his videos. So now they just show up anytime I open up the app as I'm like doom scrolling in the middle of the night, when everybody's gone to bed. So his videos pop up, and he has a really personable attitude about all of the stuff and everything, and has a great sense of humor about it too. So entertaining and informational, which a guy like that I think would be a much better representative for the Democrat Party than these dipshit oil expert motherfuckers that by the way need to become the absolute dinosaurs of the world. Like, I understand fossil fuels, petroleum, all that stuff, it has a place in this world. We're not going to get rid of ICE vehicles. And when I say ICE, internal combustion engine, right? We're not going to get rid of internal combustion engine vehicles and stuff like that. We're going to have reliance on these systems probably for the next 50 years, right? But we should be focusing on mitigating the damage that they're doing. Why are we making plastics and just chucking them out the fucking window. And people go, no, 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 I put it in the bin and I never, ever thrown mine out the window. And it's like, bitch, I got endless seas of videos of just like fucking plastic everywhere. You know, it doesn't matter where I go. It doesn't matter where I've been. I was at the top of a goddamn mountain. There was plastic up there. There was plastic that made no sense also, right? It wasn't like, oh, somebody brought a bottle of water up here and threw the bottle out. It was like, here's some random styrofoam that blew here somehow, you know? Like a big chunk of it. Big chunk of styrofoam on the top of a fucking mountain, right?
Somebody's new generator came in the back of the car with styrofoam around it, and rather than pack it out,
I'm saying, the top of a mountain, you cannot drive there. You have to hike for...
Okay.
You have to hike for 6 hours to get to the top of the mountain. No one dragged a generator up there in the box. Somebody might have drug a generator up there at some point, you know, but they didn't bring it up in the box like in their truck. There's no road. So, yeah, I'm just saying let's not criticize my example. I'm saying it blew up there, and it also makes no sense that it would even be there, you know. But
even looking at it from a job standpoint, maybe as we phase out, we could be, you know, giving jobs to those who are getting taken out of the oil industry by setting up new stuff.
Well, I mean, actually, the bigger thing is that, like, you need to hold the companies account to making, you know, they're the ones that are making the plastic product, right? Coca-Cola is making the plastic product. They're in charge of making the plastic product. We grow enough corn so that 10% of our fuel that we burn is fucking corn. It's ethanol made out of corn. The hard corn you can't eat. I have some news for you folks. That corn could also make plastic because they currently make it now. It's a biodegradable plastic made out of corn. We outlawed it like plastic bags in Washington. And every company shit their pants and cried and pissed their pants and just started fucking crying and just like, there's no other alternative. There's nothing we could do. Well, it turns out you could send your to-go food in cardboard containers. That's simple, easy to do. A little bit of wax on a cardboard box works just as well as any plastic shit ever did. And it's biodegradable. You can just burn it in your backyard if you want. Turn it into ash, throw it in your garden. Boom, Bob's your uncle. The plastic could easily be replaced by corn derivative plastics. Coca-Cola does not want to do it. None of the companies want to do it. You want to know why? It is a technology that already exists, but it costs more money. So the bottom line, it costs more money. It costs less money to make plastic. Period. End of story. That's the argument. The argument that they have is that it's cheaper. It's just cheaper. It's just cheaper to do plastic and not use the corn plastic. But all the to-go containers you get now in Washington are either a corn derivative plastic or cardboard. Simple. The straws, the corn derivative straws, work exactly like straws do. And by the way, when the paper straws came out, guess what they already had? Corn derivative straws. There was no reason that they had to give you plastic straws or paper straws. There was no reason they ever had to do that because those biodegradable straws have existed since at least the year 2000 because I worked at a restaurant that brought them in. They're brown colored and people got so mad because the straws were brown now instead of black. They started pissing their pants, shitting their pants, praying to Jesus or whatever the fuck they do. I don't know. I don't know what they do. But they definitely told us how they were outraged that the straws were brown instead of red now. And about a month after that, no one gave a shit what color the fucking straw was ever again. It's the same thing as when it comes down to how Fox News or whatever will tell you that the world is outraged that the Golden Corral is going to change their fucking emblem or whatever. Because their marketing department decided that we'll get more sales if they change the sign. It'll draw in customers. I personally think it's a catastrophic waste of time, energy, and resources. How about just make your food better, and you'll probably get more customers? How about make your restaurants nicer? How about pay your wait staff a living wage, so when they work there, they're not enticed to treat every customer like a fucking ATM for their tips that they receive. How about that? How about do some of that shit? No? You're going to redesign with the marketing team your emblem. Okay. Your logo. It's the logo that's keeping them all out. It's the logo, guys. It's the logo that's keeping them all out. It's not the fucking piss poor food quality of all the Cisco brand fucking shit you're heating up and slopping it out in your fucking buffet. It's not that. No, guys. It's the logo. That's why people aren't going to Golden Corral, right? But Fox News will tell you that everyone's outraged. The outrage. The heritage over the fucking Golden Corral.
I thought it was Cracker Barrel, but okay. Maybe.
It's what? Was it Cracker Barrel?
It was Cracker Barrel, unless
same
Golden
shit.
Corral has changed.
Same shit.
Same thing, right?
Same shit. Same shit. It's the same restaurant. Hold on. Golden Corral.
Yeah. One is a buffet version and one is not. But other than that,
Cracker Barrel. Yeah, I guess Cracker Barrel has no, I'm not interested in AI doing anything for me.
fucking right on off.
Yeah, so Golden Corral is gold with red. That's their emblem. Oh, here we go. Here they go, side by side. Side by side. Here we go. We got a side by side. Tell me which one of these restaurants is different from the other one.
Which one makes you want to go eat at it?
Which one of these is different? And by the way, this was the new logo. This is the new logo, old logo. It was Cracker Barrel. You were right. It wasn't Golden Corral. But either way, they're both dog shit. They're both dog shit fucking restaurants where they just reheat trash that they get out of the fucking freezer.
Cracker Barrel was the one that when they started offering vegan options, people were like, "You lost customers." Like, why?
Because you offered something, so they shriek out. They shriek out. They shriek and freak and shit piss their pants. And like, who gives a fuck, man? Like, tell me which one of these restaurants is different from any of the other ones. Tell me which one of these is different. Cracker Barrel, Bob Evans, Denny's, IHOP, Waffle House, Golden Corral, Perkins. It's all the same fucking horse shit. These guys all have a truck, a semi, backs up to the back of their restaurant, and they unload frozen fucking boxes of pre-made food, and they heat it up in a fucking microwave for you.
Right.
They're all the same. This is all the same shit. Yeah, I was reading a bunch of the restaurant reports about 2 weeks ago. So the 2026 restaurant reports essentially came out, and all of the CEOs in the restaurants currently right now recommend that you sell out your restaurant to one of the restaurant groups. That's the recommendation. The recommendation right now is that if you have a restaurant, you should just sell it to a restaurant group, because that's the best outlook you could have right now as a restaurateur, which is just absolutely mind-fuckingly stupid. Right now, there's one of the things I always wanted to do with YouTube. Currently, Michael Reeves and Ludwig are doing, and they did it last year. They're doing a series called Tip to Tip. So they're road tripping on motorcycles. Last year, they went from the bottom of Japan to the top of Japan with no map, no navigation on their phone. The only phone that they had was a flip phone that just could dial like 911, basically.
Okay.
They didn't have a translation app. They didn't have any of that shit.
Cool.
And right now they're doing tip-to-tip China edition. They're going from the bottom of China to the top of China. They're recording it, and they have a team that's like, I don't know, 50 miles behind them or whatever. And they drop off the footage to them every morning. And the guy's editing it like in an RV following them.
That's fun.
But they're not interacting with them throughout the day at all. They just have to find their own way across the country, which is exactly something that I would have wanted to do 100%. One of the few reasons I would be involved in YouTube would being able to do like travel videos and stuff. That realistically, I always thought, okay, maybe I could be the next Anthony Bourdain, right? And go to fucking Vietnam and eat at hole in the wall places and meet people at the on the ground level. So far, I haven't been able to do that. It's probably because I'm not as tall as Anthony was. He was taller. That's probably the problem, right?
Yeah.
I need to write a book. So the book sales can fuel my my globetrotting.
Have you seen? I think it's on Netflix. Who's Somebody Feed Phil? I think is the name. I can't remember the comedian's last name, but he travels around the world and eats at like little hole in the wall or street carts all over the world, kind of like Bourdain did as well. And he's just great too. I really like his stuff. So there's a couple of people out there keeping me.
Yeah, I mean there are a few. There's a few out there that are pretty good. Somebody Feed Phil is pretty good. I don't know if are they still doing it? It might be canceled after season 8. That might be the last one.
My favorite chef show that I watched on Netflix for a long time, and I don't know that they do it anymore, was I want to say Chef's Table, where they feature some different chef from all over the world, or featured some different chef from all over the world, and kind of their dream. And there was the guy that had basically it was a hunting lodge up in the mountains of, I don't know, Sweden maybe, or Finland or something like that. He had 4 tables, and then there was another guy who specialized in, I don't know, Brazilian meats. They were all just very cool, what their stories were. And yes, Golden Corral is still a thing. Michael and Mark, they survived the pandemic, unlike many others.
Oh, so Somebody Feed Phil has been popular enough that they quit Netflix and they're going to their own YouTube channel after this. So you'll be able to watch it on YouTube.
I haven't had Netflix.
Oh my God, Paula's here. What's going on, Paula? Man, all the existential threat shit that is happening is exhausting. That includes the 30-degree Fahrenheit weather swings in the last couple of weeks. Yeah. I mean, that's actually one of the weirder parts of the reality that we're living in right now is that climate change is actively happening. As was predicted, that we would start getting these more and more extreme weather events, And, when I was a kid in 1998, which would be almost 30 years ago now, people were saying that, in about 30 years, the weather, if we continue at this rate, the weather's going to keep changing and keep changing. And everyone said, well, who gives a fuck about that? 30 years doesn't mean anything. Well, here we are. We got no snow this winter. We got no snow in the mountains. We got no snowpack. It's 50 degrees and sunny in March, and we got no snow in the mountains. We always get snow in the mountains. We didn't get no snow. Highway 20 is about to open, except Highway 20 is broken. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did see that.
They started plowing it already. They started plowing hard, you know what I mean? By the way, those giant snowblowers are like, fuck me, I could watch that shit all day. The giant snowblower cutting through like 15 feet of snow.
Yeah.
Hold on. Today's stream is brought to you by something we don't have anything to do with. Snow clearing pass. Norway? Let's see if we get a good video from Norway. Oh, God. Oh, God, it's going to be good. Oh, it's going to be good. Prepare
Snow
yourself.
porn.
Prepare yourself for fucking snow porn. It's coming in hot. Oh, God, and it's a it's a TikTok, too, so you know it's going to be fucking wildly addictive. Here we go. I have to cut it out of the. I have to cut out all the commercials that are on the side. There we go. Cut them out for you. Oh God, look at that, man! They got the front end loader. They're just they're blasting. Look how deep it is. It's like 12 feet deep. God, it might be deeper. Oh, and they're clearing the road. Look at them go! God damn! Get it! Oh, I love it. I could watch this shit all day. You know what? I would bargain to say that I this is a job I could do. Because I would just be stoked the whole time.
I was feeling mildly thrilled at watching a bobcat mulcher attachment earlier.
Oh
Going,
yeah,
ooh.
you saw one live? Did you see one live?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh my God, a little chub. You're gonna get a chub. You're gonna get a chub, dude.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a chubby. I'm telling you. It's just look at that, man. It's busting. Ah.
Yeah.
Ah. There's snow clearing. Look at them go. God damn.
Like,
oh, it's good shit. I love it so much. I lust for it.
Nice and
anyhow, they're doing that right now. They're doing that right now over Highway 20. Although, as reported from a bunch of the groups I follow, the road is fucked from the rain. We had the catastrophic rains, and apparently there's a bunch of spots where the snowmobilers have gone out there on their snow machines, and they're like, the road is not here. Look, it's gone. It went somewhere. So who knows if Highway 20 is going to open. My plan is to take Olivia and Vicky on a hike up to Hearts Lake up there. I want to go up there to the peak, and I don't know if we'll be able to go because Highway 20 might be broken. So you got to drive out Highway 20, and then you got to bust over to a Forest Service roads and go up those Forest Service roads. I don't know if the Forest Service roads are broken. I don't know if Highway 20 is broken. I don't know when it'll open, but we'll see.
They closed the today.
Holy shit! Someone's asking a fish tank related question, which seems like it's missing half of the. At Lindemans was asking if my aquarium already has black fluorite. Can I put fluval stratum on top? Oh. Nope, that's the whole question. I just started reading it, and it seemed like half of the question was missing. Nope, that's the whole question. The answer to your question is yes. Yes, you can. Just be advised, stratum is much lighter than the fluorite, so they won't mix together very well. Stratum on top means that the stratum will just be on top, generally speaking, and the fluorite will be down below, generally speaking. But they don't mix very well. So just that should be your expectation, that if you like the look of the fluorite at all, you probably will never see it ever again, because the fluorite or the fluval stratum will be sitting on top of it. But yes, I generally recommend a setup in one of my old videos a million years ago. Fluorite on the bottom and stratum on top generally gets you about 90% of the way to handling your plant growing wants in a planted aquarium like this one right behind me. That does need some maintenance. I do have a little algae and a bunch of plants to trim. I need to do that one of these days when I get time. I could do it right now, but you guys just end up looking at my my whale tail, my butt crack the whole time. Because I don't have a camera set up, a hand cam, or and every time I hook up my wireless mic to this mixer, it makes a fucking weird ass sound, and I can't figure out how to get rid of it. So I desperately want to be able to do some wireless mic stuff so I could be back there talking to you guys and do the other camera that's over there. But I can't do that because every time I'm on the wireless mic, it makes an insane, crazy sound over the top of it. And I think it has everything to do with this mixer, because I can do it without the mixer, and then I'm just missing a whole bunch of other input without the mixer. And I don't really want to buy another mixer, is honestly my take on that whole situation right now. Don't want to buy another mixer. Don't want to spend the money to do it. So I keep fiddling with it every once in a while to see if I can sort it out, but no avail. Without, and my sound isn't good now through the mixer, so I'm pretty much rest assured it's the mixer. I know that there's like some feed noise, so there's some other noise happening in my broadcast, and I'm not happy with it. But there isn't much to do other than spend money at this point, and I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to do that. But Paula is correct. The existential threat right now is very high. Like I said in the explanation of the video, my biggest concern right now is that the United States of America is probably going to drop a nuke on Iran. It seems to be what they're tabling. And if you wanted my prediction is that we're going to move in a bunch of forces, especially ground forces. A bunch of troops are going to be sacrificed in the name of, I guess, Jesus. Seems to be the evangelical influence that is rife in our administration. They want to bring on the end of the world for some reason. I don't know why, other than they think heaven is real, or they'll just make a lot of money. One of those two reasons. And in the case that does happen, all hell is going to break loose, and it's going to be horrific. So, I've begun. I began it a long time ago. I don't do extreme amounts of prepping, as it were, but I have plenty of stuff in place, prepping wise, I guess, to be able to deal with, 3 or 4 months without external inputs. So we'll see if that's enough to get through whatever potentially happens. I don't know. One of my biggest points with like prepping so much for the idea that there will be a
if shit hits the fan situation.
Yeah, shit hits the fan situation, and it's hard to say. You can't really call it the apocalypse because it's just idiots doing stuff, I guess. Is that there's so many unknowns that you're just going to have to have a wide range of abilities to adapt to whatever is going to come next. So, personally, I feel like I'm in a position that I can deal with a bunch of the bullshit and try to keep my family alive for as long as I can. And see what the next indicated step is along the path, It's one of those things, like, you could prep and then you get invaded by neighbors that want your shit and they shoot you.
Yep.
That's not good. And there is a point where you go to sleep. That's always like one of the craziest things to always remind people, is that, like, you could have the most fortified situation that you think you have, but there is a point where you will go to sleep. Doesn't matter how good you are at jiu-jitsu if you're asleep. It doesn't matter how good you are at shooting your gun if you're asleep. That is going to be a reality of the future, that people will have to sleep in shifts. Then there's also the problem that you're not able to get much done because everybody's sleeping in shifts and you're having to keep an eye on the sleeping bodies, right? You can't go
and
hunting.
Who and how many,
you can't go run off.
Many people into your community.
You can't go run off and hunt one of these random cows that gets loose, right? when all the dairy farms go under or whatever. Um, you can't go hunting and gathering and stuff if your family's asleep because you got to stay there and keep an eye on them, right? So I mean, there's just so many variables that people are gonna have to deal with. It's like, how are you gonna get food? How are you gonna get water? How are you gonna clean the water? Are you gonna get dysentery because you don't know how to
Boil or filter water.
boil or filter water, or not cross contaminate shit all the time? When you don't have running water, are you washing your hands enough? That you just cleaned a chicken, right? Did you kill and process a chicken? What's on your hands now? How are you going to clean your hands? How are you going to go about doing that? Well, it's like, well, I'm going to use soap and water. Well, you don't have running water. You are boiling everything to try and drink. Also, one of the downsides is like, if you are washing your hands with contaminated water, what's on your hands?
Contaminating.
But at the end, right? It's like that's one of the ways that I got poisoned in fucking Amazon, is that you wash your hands, but then you rinse your hands with fucking dirty ass river water that's full of human feces and shit, right? So you still have that crap on your hands because you just got the water on you,
Which always amazes me that anyone's alive in India. But yes.
They have a different biome than we do. Your body adapts to it because it's going to be within your.
I know.
It's in your digestive tract, right? We are immune. We in the States are immune to a whole bunch of shit that would fuck with people from India. Yeah, ask people that have immigrated here from India, and they're like, "Oh my god, I didn't shit right for a year or 2 years,"
Right.
That's why it's like, well, you better take some probiotics, that kind of shit, right? And you're like, what? Heh? Probos? What are you talking about? Probos, get them. Stratum or UNS contrasoil on top of flora is my favorite way to set up a planet tank. That's right, Alyssa Bentley. Oh my god, I burped. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person now. I'm gonna burn in purgatory for eternity for burping. I didn't even say excuse me. Only when I was making fun of the fact that I didn't say excuse me is when I said it. Is that an excuse of me? No, probably not. Yeah, so I don't know. Right now, my biggest stress is worrying about the nuclear element that is currently ongoing.
If you were to give odds, what do you think? What would your odds be on war finally coming to American soil?
With the what?
I said, if you were to give odds, what would your odds be on foreign war finally coming to American soil?
What, you mean somebody invading America?
Or firing on, yeah.
Well, we've already been fired on before, so I guess 100% because that's already happened.
I mean, coming and staying.
I'm confused. You reframe. What are you asking?
Oh, yeah, reframe the question.
So you think?
I guess it would have.
Are
to
you
be
asking? Okay,
invasion.
so hold on. Let me rephrase it for you by questioning what you're saying. How about we try that? Are you asking what do I think the percentage is of a foreign army being in the United States?
Or we can start with boots on the ground.
Zero.
Long-term regular strikes.
Long-term regular strikes. Long-term, zero. Short-term, possibly. But like the biggest issue with that is like you have to use subs, right? And there's just not that many of them. So, if China or Russia utilizes their subs and we're like, it's over there, it's gone after that. And then like they're not going to get away with building another one because we're just going to bomb wherever they're building one.
Okay.
So, like a short-term strikes, certainly possible. I think the biggest threat to the United States, honestly, like if you want my honest answer to that, it would look something like the Ukrainians bombing Russia's long-range bombers, right? Like they sent all those shipping containers with the drones in it and sent those out.
Right.
Something like that could happen. I don't want any of this to happen, by the way, just to be clear. Something like that definitely could happen. We have how many shipping containers a day? Something like like it's a crazy number. How many ship? Hold on.
No, it's like millions, but I'm sure it's several hundreds of thousands.
It's a crazy number. I forget what it was. It was a shitload. Over 60,000 maritime shipping containers arrive at U.S. ports daily. Part of roughly 25 million containers entering annually via sea, truck, and rail. A typical day of U.S. Customs and Border Protection includes roughly 91,000. So it's actually 91,000 total containers processed across all modes of transport, including land and border crossings. So Mexico, Canada, all that too. So it's 91,605 daily. So, I mean, it's a monumental number. Like, that's a crazy number if somebody said, give me $91,000, let alone 91,000 shipping containers, and every day, right?
Right.
And it's every day forever, right? Essentially, you know.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, if you're talking about just the absurd number of things that are moving around, like that's all the problem, you know. When it comes to the logistics of like defending your sovereignty or whatever, it's like and also if you just cut off 91,000 shipping containers a day into the United States, then what happens? Right.
Yeah, so you would need to invade or shoot things. Just give it 2 months, and
well, I mean, it just means that we wouldn't export either, you know.
No,
So things would definitely change. I mean, things would dramatically change. They would be different. I don't think that the United States is at a point where if you did cut off all imports and exports, right, for whatever reason, like first and foremost, you would need Mexico, South America to agree with whatever was being cut off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which may or may not happen. You would also need Canada to agree. And you would need like a consensus from the world to agree to like cut it off. You know what I mean? So how is that going to happen? I don't know. How, you know, is suddenly Europe going to be like, yes, let's let Russia make decisions? I don't think so.
Right.
I mean, they're buying shitloads of weapons as we speak because they're like, well, we're going to kill that guy if he tries to come further. Right. So, I mean, I would say that, like, realistically, like, the biggest scare that we should have as Americans is associated around the import-export, you know. Technically, we make the most, you know, the United States makes the most natural gas and gasoline. So, and oil. So, like, let's say we were cut off from exporting. Well, all that production has to go somewhere. And it would end up landing internally, right? So it would plummet the cost for people in the United States to keep the energy on, essentially, right? So it's like, okay, well, yeah, maybe you're in a war with the world, but we would still have power. We would still have fuel because we're producing the most out of any country that ever has. So, you know, I don't think that there's ever a time that in the current state of things that a foreign force could invade the United States. And that has more to do with geography than anything, right? Like you need to cross the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean.
Right.
We're going to know you're coming. Somebody's going to know you're coming, right? And at the very least, like let's say we have zero defense for people invading. We would know you're coming, and at the very least would evacuate, get the fuck out of the way,
Right.
right? So, the geography of the United States leads to our biggest ability to defend ourselves. Is the fact that we're so far removed from the rest of the world here. You know, like that's our biggest defensible position. And we do have natural resources out the ass in North America. We really do. You know, and I would imagine that if I don't know, let's say 5 countries decided to go against the United States, right? Let's say that the BRICS nations decided, well, we're going to go to war against the United States, right? Like China, Brazil, Russia. What are the other ones? India, and I guess it's 4. Is it only 4?
No, it's 5. Saudi Arabia, but it's one of the...
South Africa?
Maybe.
South Africa's the other one? Fuck you, South Africa, you pieces of shit. Fuck you. And the horse you rode in on, you buttfuckers. Assholes. Anyhow. Like, let's say the BRICS nations decided to go to war against the United States. I mean, realistically, I think what would happen is a lot of what happened in World War II. Right? Like, I don't think it would look very much different than it did in World War II. Like, tons of people would sign up to fight. All of our industries would shift into producing stuff to defend against the invasion or the attacks or whatever. I think that's what would happen. I mean, it would force the hand, right? Like right now, like commercial interests and commercial and capital interests essentially are all making their decisions based on like, how do we make more money? But if it's extinction versus not extinction, right? Like that's a very different
decision-making process.
Yeah, I mean it's, you know, it's like Boeing is like, well, we need to make a 777 with an extra floor on it so that rich people can sleep in their beds while they fly around, you know. And you're like, hey, everything that you own is going to be exploded into ash. And they're like, we need to make a missile that shoots the people that stops, you know what I mean?
Who can afford to sleep on the extra floor?
Well,
Right.
you know, I mean, it's like that's what they're doing. I mean, they're retooling another one of their plants to make what is it, 737s or 757s, whichever one. More people are buying right now. They're buying more 757s, I think, because they're the common commuter plane. So it's like commercial interests are like, we ordered a bunch of these planes so that we could fly these short flights around and charge people for them. And Boeing is like, well, we'll be damned if we're going to make a technology that doesn't pollute like crazy while doing that.
Because an old door falls off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes the doors fall out because we don't want to spend money, right? But the difference is like, well, it's either make 757s or get murdered, right? Like it's a wildly different proposition.
Yeah.
Than it is to just be like, well, we need to capture all the money, right? Which is their whole goal right now, is just capture all of the money. Because as long as they can just capture all the money, they'll just keep doing that, which is what everything is directed at right now. And so, you know, I mean, World War II, we were not geared up to go to war. We weren't. And as a matter of fact, like, all the people of the United States were like, fuck you, we're not going to war. We don't want to. Which is why there's a lot of people that have conspiracy theories around Pearl Harbor, right? That somehow someone in our government knew and approved the attack on Pearl Harbor. But it's weird because that conspiracy theory immediately falls apart when you point out the other 5 locations that the Japanese attacked on the same day.
Same day, right.
Yeah. And it's because the Japanese military was running out of oil, right? Which is the same reason Fucking the same reason that Hitler ran the Blitzkrieg to go straight up into Russia, because they were running out of oil and they were trying to capture the oil in Russia. And I forget the name of it, but there's a name for that. But essentially, the Russians were defending against the Nazi tanks rolling through by throwing their bodies into the treads.
Yes. Oh, I know what you're talking. I can't think of the name of it either. I can see the story.
I don't know. We'll look it up real quick.
Okay.
There's a name for it. Oh, it's the Battle of Stalingrad, right?
Right.
Yeah, here it is right here. The meat grinder tactics. Accounts often described overwhelming German positions by continuously sending troops, waves of humans, until the enemy ran out of ammunition, leading to high casualties. So they would just run out of position until they ran out of ammo. Stalin's order number 227 mandated that commanders who allowed retreats without orders would be court-martialed, promoting a do-or-die mentality. And it was well documented at the time that the Russians would shoot from behind at their own troops to make them go forward. Yeah, so I mean, but the whole reason that they were doing that, the Nazis and the Japanese, is because they were running out of oil. They were running out of oil to run the machines, because there was very little ramp up at the time to the conversion to oil machinery. Essentially, everything was like all the ships and everything were all running on coal before that. So China still has tons of coal, right? They're still burning coal. Yep. So are we. We're still burning tons of coal. The conversion to oil and whatnot was. It's not that they hadn't thought it out. It's just they assumed that they would have made progress much faster.
Right.
The idea was that we'll just overrun everybody and then we'll take over real quick and then we'll sort it out. What do you got? It's almost 4 o'clock. So what do you got? What's going on?
Nothing major.
Now that everybody's super depressed, I mean, I can read the writing on the wall. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm reading the writing on the wall. I mean, if people are leaving the UN because their reports is that the United States is gearing up for nuclear attacks, then I take that seriously. I don't know,
Yeah, I don't know how you not.
We're supposed to we're supposed to sit here and believe, the conservatives, right, that it was wild government overreach that people were asked to wear a mask when they went out in public, to not get their spit and germs spread out to other people. It was wild government overreach to be asked to distance 6 feet apart from each other. Which, by the way, was all implemented by the Trump administration, by the way. And we're supposed to just have forgotten, I guess. That was wild government overreach. But it's not wild government overreach to just blow up children at a school. That's just fine, I guess. I don't know.
Constantly threaten to blow up infrastructure and all the rest of it on a whim.
Right.
Like a bad
conservatives right now are trying to convince the American populace that we've been at war, air quotes, with Iran for 47 years.
Yes. Yeah.
I keep hearing that from people. We've been at war with Iran for 47 years. Oh, really? That's news to me. When exactly did you bring this up last year? Did you bring it up the year before? Did you bring it up the year before that? Because, by the way, people were fucking shit-pissing at me for criticizing the Trump administration launching a missile strike into Iraq to kill Soleimani 5-6 years ago. And nobody at the time said, we're at war with Iraq. Did anybody ever say that? No, they didn't say that. They tried to tell me the war crimes that Soleimani had committed, all the crimes and atrocities that he had committed. And I'm like, you blew up a guy on an airstrip in a different country just because. You didn't capture the guy. You didn't bring him to trial for all these supposed crimes. You didn't do any of that. You just launched a missile strike into a different sovereign territory than yours. And that's fine, I guess. Okay. But nobody at the time ever said we're at war with Iraq. No one ever said that. They definitely didn't highlight the 42 years or whatever the fuck it was at the time that we'd been at war with them. We haven't.
Right.
The fact of the matter is we have not been at war with Iran for 47 years. That is a fucking bald-faced lie. The absolute lie.
Yep. And, by the way, all the trouble that we're in over there is trouble we started because we didn't like their government the first time.
Well,
or the third, or many times.
I mean, it's definitely not the first time. That's not their first government, and it's definitely not the first one that we tried to overthrow. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's just
the most recent one at the time, 79.
Yeah.
Or 52, and then 79, because we did it both times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny because they were like a super liberal country before.
Yeah. Yeah. No hijabs, short skirts, fashion forward for the women, college educations, but we didn't like them. We took them out of power, gave everybody weapons in an area that literally has historically been known as the powder keg its entire existence. But we were certain we were somehow going to solve it all.
Right.
Not at all embarrassing. And now we have an Alzheimer tangerine testicle leading our merry band of morons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty regularly flabbergasted that we're at the point where anybody thinks that this Trump shit is fucking reasonable at all.
Yeah.
And I just, it's difficult. I mean, it's just difficult to fucking understand, right? That like, you know, people are like, oh, he's so smart. He's such a good businessman. And I'm like, I don't.
Oh, dear God.
What? You know, like, what are you talking about?
You talked about the necessary conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I've tried watching it, and I just can't. I cannot. I can't get through a full episode. I just want to bitch slap the parents so badly, and then slap the kids for still trying to reason with them. Like, I know they're your parents.
Well, the thing is, like, I'm a big fan of Chad McClutchin, right? The guy who runs that show.
Right.
Because I'm a big fan of Will Sasso. He's really good friends with Will Sasso. They've worked on a ton of stuff together over the years.
Okay.
And they did a podcast before together. And I forget what it was called, Dudesy. You should go watch Dudesy. It's funny as shit. And you know, I think that there is there has been some criticism about the necessary conversation over the last month or something, that people are like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, maybe we're being tricked. Maybe we're being tricked by these people. And it certainly is possible. It certainly is possible that it's all a setup. And that, you know, that they could be tricking. Because, you know, Chad McClutchin is a huge fan of reality TV. He's worked on reality TV. He's been a script writer for reality TV. He's a huge fan of wrestling, the kayfabe and all that shit. He's a huge fan of all that stuff. So it could be staged, right? Like, it could be a staged situation. I personally don't believe that just because of the longevity of running the insanity and having dealt with MAGA people like his parents, myself.
Exactly.
These crazy old dudes that just stare at a fucking TV, like Newsmax or Fox News, or OAN all day long. All day long.
Yeah.
I've talked about this in the past. The Fox Chiron burned into TVs.
Yep, the bug
Because
built in.
I'll go to a house to do a job bid, and I'll go in there, and there's like a Fox TV on somewhere. And that TV is on 24/7. On Fox News, just rambling out like the most insane fucking nonsense you've ever heard. And it rots their brains, and it just becomes normal to them. You know, and then they're like, with very little introspection about what it is that they're believing or understanding any of the facts at the ground level, it just becomes who they are, right? And it's the funny thing, because you look at the left politically in the United States, and one of the easiest things that you could point out is the regular infighting, right? People on the left are constantly arguing with each other about what would be a more positive outcome, like
better
what
way forward. Or,
yeah.
You know.
I know that there's criticism about the safe speak, right, and that kind of stuff, where it's like, oh, well, you can't call people retarded anymore, you can't do this anymore.
Right.
You know, admittedly, there are certain words that you just shouldn't say, and it's a simple concept. Like, you shouldn't be saying the N-word, right? Obviously, you could quote somebody saying it, but these days, you're just going to get
will get you.
I'm just saying, these days, you're gonna get clipped. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, someone's going to cut the clip, and it's like, obviously, you'll come out here saying the N-word, right? And I've never been a person that's like, oh, I never said that, right? I've obviously said the N-word. It's not a difficult word to say. I've never shouted it at somebody in a racist way, though. I could tell you that.
Right.
You know, I've never called somebody the N-word, like, oh, I'm making a racist comment to somebody. It's the same thing as, like, I've never called somebody with a disability retarded. It's always been in jest. I mean, it's been, you know, I grew up in the 80s, and everybody said it all the time. And it's the same thing with, like, calling somebody a fag or whatever, right? Like, that's what it was in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's what it constantly was said. It's like I say dude all the time, right? You know, and I do what I can to, like, cut that stuff out of my vocabulary, right? Like, because it's not benefiting anybody, right? But nobody has ever expected perfection except for people on the left, right? Like, no one on the left or no one on the right has ever expected a level of perfection except for people on the left. It's like, well, I can't watch Harry Potter anymore because J.K. Rowling's a piece of shit. And you're like, okay, cool. Does Harry Potter still exist? Yes. But I'm boycotting. Like, okay. What have you... I'm just saying, it's like, what have you affected? What effect have you brought to the world, right? Like, it's a beloved story, right? Like, whether you like it or not, you know every Michael Jackson song under the fucking sun, right?
Right.
And if somebody came out with, oh my God, we found the sex tapes, here's Michael Jackson just raping a bunch of kids or whatever, right? It's not going to change the fact that you know every Michael Jackson song until you're dead. Until you're going to know you're going to know Thriller, right?
And it's not like any of...
You're going to know that song forever. And you boycotting it isn't going to make it go away, right? Like,
and it's not as though that's new. I mean,
I'm saying I understand, like, maybe you don't want to go to the Michael Jackson concert anymore. I get it, right? But, like, you not listening to the CD that you already own, what have you done?
Right.
You've done nothing. Nothing has happened. Like zero things have happened. It's not doing a thing. And so I'm like, yeah, I understand. Like, we all need to have values. We all need to have a aspect of what we want in our life, positive or negative, or this or that or the other. We all have standards. We have all things that we want to go to. But there is a point where your outrage is just not affecting anything. It's not doing anything except it's affecting yourself, right? There is a reality of that. Like, if I was stressed out about J.K. Rowling, right?
Mm-hmm.
All I'm doing is just creating stress in my own body that is fucking dysregulating myself.
Right.
J.K. Rowling has shitty fucking take on everything. But Emma Watson, who's from the Harry Potter world, has very good takes on pretty much everything that comes out of her fucking mouth, right?
As
So
with Daniel, yeah.
I'm like, if there's balance in the world, maybe go to a Emma Watson fundraising event, and then now you've affected some kind of change. Like, something has tangibly happened, as opposed to this idea that, like, well, I'm going to get mad because somebody else's fucking 6-year-old likes Harry Potter, right? Because now you're just fucking mad. Because, by the way, Mickey Mouse is also terrible. So is the Three Stooges. Yep. The Three Stooges is terrible. The fucking baseball is terrible, right? Like, you can go down the list and pretty much everything is fucking terrible, right? And it's like, well, baseball was segregating everybody and doing all this crazy shit for decades. Like, okay, you're a piece of shit for taking your little kid to a baseball game. What?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, football is damaging all of these young men's brains. Yep.
Right.
That's not good. Okay, well, you're a piece of shit for watching a football game. What?
Yeah.
You know, like, what are we talking about here? So I understand, like, there are some valid criticisms from the right wing when it comes to some of the social stuff that bothers them, right? But the stuff that the stuff that I'm talking about is like, oh wow, you're encumbered by having to actively think about who you're talking to and how you're talking to them, right? Versus the idea that, well, we should send transgender people to jail because they used the wrong bathroom, right?
Right.
That's fucked. You know? And by the way,
Right.
these two things are so far vastly apart at the level of what we're talking about, because one group wants to inflict a real, actual, affected damage to another human being, and another person is like, stop saying cunt. It fucks me up when you say cunt. Stop saying cunt. You know? Like, I'm offended by hearing the word cunt. And I'm like, shit, that sucks. It's in my vernacular. I'll try my best and not say cunt at grandma's dinner. Got it. You know? Fuck. Okay. You know? Let me do my best. And you could do your best. And you could do your best. And by the way, somebody would easily understand if you accidentally slip one out or whatever. Like, fuck, I'm sorry. Whoops. Didn't mean to. My bad. Right. Whereas it's like, I'm going to put somebody in prison for 10 years. That's not a whoopsie doopsie. That's a fucking big giant decision that you've decided to put vast amounts of effort into. You know? These are two categorically wildly different things. And meanwhile, the people on the left, we're all arguing about the fact of whether or not you could say retarded, right? And the right-wingers are getting ready to launch a fucking nuke to kill 1 million people. See how I'm like we're not exactly playing the same fucking sport here. We're not even in the same arena. And we need to have some kind of fucking awakening on the left here of like political power is vastly, vitally important for the benefit of the human race on Earth.
Yeah, you wonder how we managed to get 8 million people together on Saturday and still not be able to talk to each other to come to a consensus on something. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I get it, but honestly, I'm exhausted, honestly, by the like J.K. Rowling's types conversations. I'm exhausted by it. Like, I get it. She's a huge piece of shit. So is Elon Musk. Stop buying Teslas, but also you stop buying Teslas. We still fucking here, right? It was like, well, stop buying Starlink. Well, it's integrated in the fucking U.S. government now. I guess if you stop buying Starlink, what's going to happen? Do you think that suddenly their biggest customer is going to have some come to Jesus, some kind of reckoning, and be like, well, the U.S. government's not going to have Starlink anymore? What? Still going to be there. Still going to get the subsidies. Still going to get the money. It's like, well, I'm going to boycott Disney. Okay, you weren't even showing up this year anyhow. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know. People talk about boycotts. The boycotts don't actually do anything. I'm fully like off the boycott idea. I mean, I get it. Don't give your money to Chick-fil-A. That's fine. But the idea behind an actual functional boycott is not going to overturn Amazon's fucking stranglehold on 60% of commerce in the United States. It's not going to overturn these giant monopolies. Like, it requires the input of a bigger force in order to force the corporations to do something. And the only thing that we have is the U.S. government. That's it.
Yep.
As illustrated regularly by, a YouTuber will come up on fucking sexual assault charges, right? And like there'll be a dip in their popularity, but it turns out they go from 1 million subscribers or 1.5 million subscribers to 1 million subscribers, right? What happens to those guys? Absolutely nothing. They still just exist forever, right?
Yep.
They still just make money, and it's fine. And I mean, maybe they don't have like a third Lamborghini or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. Nobody's talking in the chat. We're definitely talking to ourselves, so we might as well end the show today. I hope everyone's super depressed now, but I hope we don't bomb anybody. We should stop it. It's disgusting. War's bad, always. I'm going to mute my microphone now. Goodbye.